Crisis alert. Deebo Samuel has unfollowed the San Francisco 49ers.
No huddle, Wilson end zone, caught, touchdown, Elijah Moore.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo, and you heard it right. Deebo Samuel is no longer following the San Francisco 49ers on Instagram. He has changed his profile picture to a black picture and has removed all San Francisco references of him on the team from his Instagram. Before we get into that, hit that subscribe button if you're new here or if you've been around here. It really helps out the channel. And with 20 days left to get to the draft, I want to be able to do this giveaway. Remember, we need to get to 50 subscribers for us to get a giveaway. And then we have a 50 goal, a 100 goal, a 500 goal, and a 1,000 goal. I know the 500 and 1,000 are a little bit far-fetched, but the 50 goal, I think we can totally do that. So hit that subscribe button, and I would really, really appreciate it. Drop a thumbs up. That helps the channel. Let's get right into this video. Deebo, come to the Jets. Force your way out of San Francisco. No one likes San Francisco. Come live in the greatest city on earth where dreams are made of. Come to New York. Come back to Mike LaFleur and Robert Saleh. Come to a team that actually has a quarterback that can throw the ball to you. Come to a team that will support you with high-end wide receiver talents in Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. We will love you. I will buy a Deebo Samuel jersey because I love you. Make it happen, Deebo. Come to New York. East Coast is the Beast Coast. You know it. That's my pitch to Deebo if he's watching this. But I want to talk about this whole situation, talk a little bit about Deebo and the likelihood of him possibly getting traded. So let's start there with the likelihood of him getting traded. Guys, it's not happening, right? Deebo is going to stay in San Francisco. There's no way, Shanahan's going to let that happen, right? If you're Shanahan, you go hey, all of the money, just give it to him, right? Because he is the focal point of that offense. He does everything for that offense. If we look at 2021 and just 2021, because we know his 2020 stats, his 2019 stats, and all of that, right? If we look at his 2021 stats, he caught 87 balls on 128 targets. That is a 68% reception rate. In 68 catches, he went for 1,559 yards. That is an average yard per reception of 17.9 yards per reception. And he had 7 touchdowns. Here's the crazy stat. Of those 1,559 yards, do you know how many of those yards were yards after the catch? 937 yards after the catch. That means that on 87 receptions and the 1,600 yards that he got, almost 950 of those yards were him catching the ball and going. His average yards after the catch per reception was 11 yards. It was 10.8, so I'm rounding up to 11 yards. It is we're talking about some of the craziest statistic ever, in the sense of production out of a wide receiver in the system that we're currently running. He's one of the best wide receivers in football, and it totally makes sense that he's going and doing what he's doing right now. He's trying to get paid, and he should be trying to get paid. He does, and he plays everywhere. He plays in the slot. He plays out wide. He plays in line. He plays everywhere that you want on the field. He took 65% of his snaps out wide, but he also took 30% of his snaps in the slot. It's just so much positional versatility that you get from him and what he can do. And he's not the dink and dunk that you're getting from him. His average yards no, what is it? It's average depth of target. So that means when they're throwing the ball to him, how deep down the field is he? It was 8 yards. Now, that's not, when you're looking at that on a grand scheme, that doesn't seem like it's a lot of distance. But when he's getting 10, 11 yards after the catch every single time, they're just saying, get the ball in Deebo's hands as quickly as possible because he's going to make plays. He's going to get the ball and he's going to go and make plays after the catch. If we look at all of those stats and we look at all of those things and everything that he's doing in this, oh, and here's the craziest part. He's a true 50-50 ball kind of guy. His contested catch rate, like a percentage-wise, is 46.2. So you can just toss up the ball to him and feel comfortable that he can win it in a 50-50. He caused 4 interceptions and had 4 fumbles last year, but he is that offense in San Francisco. They rely on him so much to accomplish so much in San Francisco that he's their number one target, right? With all of that being said, you have to take into consideration that why would a team like the San Francisco 49ers let him walk? It's unlikely that they would. In my video that I talked about wide receivers that we can possibly trade for, I mentioned how they have the cap space. Like, they can just pay him, right? At this point, you trade Jimmy G for a 7th round pick. Like, you just stop asking for a bunch for Jimmy G. If it's a money thing, you getting assets for Jimmy G is not worth you not being able to pay Deebo and then having to, have a disgruntled wide receiver that you're going to have to, franchise tag and do all of those things. You don't want that. No one wants that, so don't do it. And then you move on to the next kind of thing, which is screw it. We're going to do our situation with Deebo. We're going to pay him and just pay him his money. And he deserves it. He is the focal point of that offense. I'm rambling now because I had a point and then I lost it. Now, what would it take if we wanted to trade for Deebo Samuel to go get him, right? He's one of the best wide receivers in football. So my thing is it's probably going to be somewhere like a DK trade. I think it would be probably the 10th pick, 10 and 69. That would be the most comfortable I would feel kind of giving it up. San Francisco, I don't think has a 1st round pick this year. So giving them the 10th pick and pick 69 might work. I would look at possibly exchanging 3rd round picks if San Francisco has their 3rd round pick, because again, I don't know. And so if they do have a 3rd round pick, I would look at realistically hey, can we swap those picks? Because again, you're getting 10 from a team that doesn't have a 1st round pick, right? It's not like they're going to get 2 1st round picks or anything like that. I don't think they're picking in the 1st round. So it's one of those things where it's just you go from not picking in the 1st round to now having the 10th overall pick in a draft that has some good wide receiver talent up top. You can replace Deebo in this hypothetical situation where you trade Deebo, and you get to move up in the 3rd round, and we get a late 3rd round pick. They probably get if we can get the Robert Saleh compensatory pick, I think that's what that would be right in line of where I feel this trade would end up being. And then you have to take into consideration from the Jets that you would have to pay him, right? You're probably looking at paying him that $30 million a year. These are what the wide receivers are going to get right now. Now, if I'm the Jets, do I want to pay Deebo Samuel the $30 million a year? Absolutely. If it was up to me and I did this trade, I would try to give him as long of a deal as possible. He is 26 years of age right now, so he's still got time on him. So I would give him a 5-year, $30 million deal. And the reason I would say I would give him such a long deal, I would do the same thing with DK and AJ. The reason I would look at signing a wide receiver right now is because the TV revenue money kicks in next year. So the salary cap will go up. And with the betting revenue starting to come into the league and you're starting to look at all of this salary cap explosion, it's one of those things where I would definitely, we all got to look at what Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes. Like, everyone thought, like, holy crap, they're paying the guy $40 million a year or something like that. And it's just like, that contract looks bad now. I don't think that contract, no, like, this is going to be the first year of that contract, I think. They extended him and gave him a 10-year contract. In 3 years, when the salary cap is pushing $300 million, that $40 million a year contract for a quarterback isn't going to be that bad. And so it's another video is just like, if we can find out that Zach's the guy and we can get him signed up long-term, like if we can lock him down in a long-term contract, 8-9 years, like now, like with the salary cap percentage where it is now, I would much rather do that now. Like, say, hey, we're going to execute the 5th-year option and then we're going to re-sign you. Like, here's the contract doing all of that. Like, I would do all of those things. If we can, by the end of not this year, but next year, figure out, is Zach the guy? I would give him that extension, or I would talk to him about getting that extension to get in front of the salary cap situation. But yeah, like, Deebo provides so much versatility, and he would be coming into a system that would totally work. I love Deebo. I would love to see him on the Jets. Like I said, Deebo, please come. We want you. You would look so good in Gotham Green, man. Come on. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Deebo Samuel news. I know he's probably not going to get traded, but it's fun to talk about. It's fun to go over these situations. It's what Jets fans live for, right? It's the off season. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe the video. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. And last but not least, go Jets.